And I'm glad that we're still best friends. And I called him immediately and I was like, where are you? Are you up high? Why are you telling me how you feel? Are you okay?
Yeah.
What happened?
You knew
Is Mel okay?
Yeah. You knew I was in San Francisco and you're like, what bridge are you on right now? Is it okay?
But if a female friend of mine said that, I'd be like, oh, that's nice, bye.
Yeah.
I'd be like, emoji, emoji, emoji. But if you do it, I'm like, what happened?
That's why it's not super easy to communicate your emotions as a man, because
Yeah.
everyone assumes something went terrible. Like, well, this is his farewell note. He was genuine for a moment.
Yeah.
Glad we had him while we lasted.
No, if you get that
His
message,
plane-
you're screenshotting it for the news.
No, yeah, you're like, oh, his plane's going down. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
I would text you if my plane was going down.
Yeah?
I'd be like, want to hear something hilarious?
Yeah.
I'd be
that's
like,
funny.
you know how I never fly Southwest
Yeah.
anymore and I did this weekend?
Yeah.
Guess what? Not sure if I'm allowed to ask this, but is women with mental health issues considered a type? I certainly hope so. My DMs are open, London. I'm not even that like mentally ill anymore, so I'm still figured out. Oh, no, you are. I can do it. I love you. You used to be so creative. You're so creative. You're crazy. That's you. I went to a fundamentalist Christian elementary school in southern Missouri. In the first grade, my teacher pulled me aside. I was wearing. She said it was lying to God. And if I loved God, I would lie to him like that. Today God's in heaven like, it's too mean to me.
So anyway, so the weather,
Let's get back to the big bug.
no, the weather's great. Bugs, though.
Big fat ass bug.
Big fat ass
Big
bug.
splatted
Thorax. The thing is, he's already brought it up again. He brought up that his friend dared him to squish a bug with his hands once, and when I didn't really give that a response, he followed up with, "Do you want to hear about the dare?" So now I'm weirded out. Even though he assured me it wasn't a sexual thing, I can't help but feel like he brought it up way too many times for it not to be. I really don't want to look it up though. Is this something you'd look past? I don't want to kink shame or anything, but I really have a problem with the idea of crushing bugs. I love animals and hate the idea of squishing bugs for no reason, even if they're dead. I feel like even if I shut it down completely and we started a relationship, I'd always have it in the back of my mind and look at him a little differently. What if we saw a bug and I wanted to pick it up because it's cute? I'd be worried about what he was thinking. Am I being too sensitive? Is this something worth breaking it off for? Am I overreacting?
Hello, Vita. You guys probably wouldn't believe me if I told you my mom's black, but she is. She's just a pile of ash. She did kill herself, and you guys not laughing at these jokes won't bring her back to life. She killed herself 3 days before my wedding. Yeah, that's one way to RSVP. I'm just kidding, she wasn't invited. But she did die doing what she loves, which is stealing my spotlight. To be fair, her suicide was a warning shot. The marriage wasn't gonna work. We did get divorced, but we tried our best. We gave it our best shot, you know. She'd be proud. My mom did die for these jokes, so if you could show a little respect. If you could show a little respect, that would be great. No, when I was growing up, she was obsessed with being the hottest mom. She had big fake tits and an eating disorder. And she would send my sister and I to school with Slim Fast shakes in a brown paper bag as our lunch. That was our whole lunch. And anytime you tell anyone about any type of abuse, they like to say, what could be worse? And it could have been worse, but I would have taken a right hook any day for a Lunchable. The good news is she did finally reach her goal weight when she was cremated. She wanted to be a hot mom. You guys, she is the hottest. You guys probably wouldn't believe me if I told you my mom's black, but she is. She's just a pile.
I hate cleaning my shower.
I did not grow up in a household that was very mental health conscious. We were very religious. I don't know if you've ever tried to tell your conservative dad that you
See me.
This right here.
Response. Update coming. Oh my god.
So, my 29 female, husband, 31 male, got a paternity test on our daughter, 5 female, and it came back negative. But I never cheated. Now he thinks our relationship is a lie and wants a divorce. What do I do? I don't know how it happened, and I haven't been able to stop crying all day. I never cheated. I love my husband. We've been together since college, and he's the love of my life. He's handsome and kind, and while I've slept with 2 other people, both were before we got together. There's no other potential father for our daughter.
When'd you do that?
When was that?
Timeline. We were married already and actively trying for a baby. I never cheated. I never would cheat. And I don't know why he took the stupid test because I would never ever cheat. But it came back negative and now he thinks he's not her dad. I don't know how to convince him it was a faulty test and I'm so scared. These past few months, it's like he's become someone completely different from the man I married. He's cold and suspicious. He kept demanding to see my phone and wouldn't tell me why. And I showed him at first, but eventually told him I wouldn't anymore unless he explained why. He's been distant with our daughter too. He stays in his office for hours on end. I don't know what he's doing. I didn't cheat. He accused me this morning saying he's done the test after realizing that our daughter's eyes, brown, wouldn't naturally come from ours, both blue, and that he wanted me to get out of the house. I didn't leave and he locked me out of our bedroom and now I'm in my daughter's room. This is terrifying. What should I do? So edit, the specific advice I want is how I can prove I'm innocent and how to make sure this relationship works. I want to keep my family together at all costs. Also, I just had a conversation with my husband. He's out of his room right now and we discussed some things. I told him again that I would never cheat and started talking about a list I made of tests that I want done, but he told me that he didn't want to hear it right now. We're going to have a longer conversation tomorrow and he said that he still loves our daughter and that he won't try to keep me out of the house or our room for now. I asked him to hug me, and he did. I'm scared. Yikes. I'm scared that I won't be able to convince him. I just want our family to go back to normal. How can I be a good wife and support his needs while proving my innocent? Update. Hi everyone. First off, I wanted to thank everyone who reached out. My original post got so much attention it was hard to get everything, but I ended up making a list of plans and tests I wanted to get done. My husband was understandably distrustful of me for a while, but he apologized for the way he acted, which I didn't need, and said that he wouldn't try to kick me out of our home. He did say, though, that if every test came back and I cheated, then he was going to go scorched earth. Yeah. We did a few tests, blood paternity tests for him, me, and our daughter, and we had an appointment with a chimerism specialist coming up, but that got canceled because, well, some of you guessed it, but my daughter is not biologically mine either. I do not know how this happened, but a police officer came to our house and took our statements, and we're suing the hospital where I gave birth. I don't know what happened to my baby, and that is terrifying. I have my husband's back, but my whole world was still upended, and I just wish he'd never taken the stupid test. I've been sleeping in my daughter's room, and I'm so afraid that she's going to be taken away from me, but at the same time, I want to know where my biological daughter is and if she's okay. I pray to God she's okay. My daughter still doesn't know the details, and we've been trying to keep this quiet. The last thing we need is a big scandal. I don't want people who know us to look at her differently. She deserves better than that. She's such a good kid. She's not some spectacle to be gawked at. If we can find her birth family, I have no idea what we'll do. I guess the best case scenario would be to get a bigger house and all live together, but I don't know if we can afford that, or if they'd go for that, or if we'll even be able to locate them, or if I'm just crazy. This whole situation is crazy. I don't know anyone else who's been in a situation like this. I mean, are there support groups for parents of kids who got mixed up? I googled and nothing came up. Literally, all I'm getting are tabloid articles from trashy magazines that slap the faces of innocent kids on the same pages of celebrity sex scandals and fiction. How do we tell our daughter? I mean, we can't tell her now. She tells the kids at school, and then it'll be everywhere. But we have to say something. I don't know what I ever did to deserve this. And then there's an update from the husband. So there was an update from the husband. Apparently he was getting chewed out. Hello everyone. So apparently a YouTuber my husband watches called Mark Narrations decided that it would be a fun idea. Hey, we heard of that guy. Decided that it would be a fun idea to read my post on his channel. My husband recognized the story because, well, of course he recognized the story. How could he not? This doesn't happen every day. Then he went on my account page. Then he found quite a few comments about him that were not exactly nice. And now he asked me for a chance to post his side of the story to this account so that people can stop trashing him. Please be nice. I don't know how many of you have been down a self-doubt rabbit hole before, but it's not the most logical place to be. It's even less logical when you have the whole damn internet telling you that your wife is cheating and that she's planning to take the house and take you for all you're worth and never really loved you, and you always sort of thought that she was too good for you anyway, so you end up seeing everything as a sign of infidelity, and then you get no one but 2 failed paternity tests on your daughter. When COVID happened, I got fat, I got depressed, I stopped feeling like a person. My wife stayed beautiful, she stayed herself. I was sure that she'd made a mistake, that she'd regret being with me. I started getting in some online groups, especially on Reddit, that was full of guys who had been cheated on, lost custody, lost everything. And when someone said that his tip-off was that he and his wife both had blue eyes and their son had brown, I felt fucking stupid. I did not want to jump to conclusions, but when I made a post about my fears, everyone said that she was cheating. People said not to say anything because she would use it to hide her cheating and get ahead of me on the divorce. I got the test and I didn't think it'd come back negative, but then it did. I didn't want to believe it, but yeah, I pulled back. I felt betrayed. I wanted to be a good husband, but I couldn't shake this. I tried to find evidence of an affair and failed. I got another test. When that one was negative, I snapped. If you've ever been cheated on, you know what it feels like. When my wife denied it, I got angrier. I just wanted her to leave. I didn't want to go through what everyone seemed to think was going to happen. I didn't want to lose custody of my kid. I didn't want to lose my house. I was scared and angry, and I wanted the truth. I felt like if she couldn't even be honest, there was no getting past this. I took a few hours to calm down. When she came back with a list of tests to take, I tried to keep my cool. I tried to keep my cool for so long. I know I was wrong about the affair, but so was everyone else in my ear. My kid is genuinely not biologically mine. I didn't immediately consider that switched at birth was an option. I've been through a messed up time, and I don't think getting angry one time because I thought my wife was cheating and was lying about it makes me a monster. And then his wife says again, I just wanted to say that 1, I agree that he's not a monster, an abuser, or anything of that sort. 2, I do not agree that he's fat. I love this man very much and half her age is, and we're not going to let this situation break our marriage. Thank you, everyone, for all of your help. And the top comment, this is why when my daughter was born 4 months ago, me, my wife, and the baby each had matching bracelets put on by the hospital immediately. The baby actually had 3, 1 tied to her medical records for medication and 2 identifying ones, 1 on the wrist and 1 on the leg. She also never left the room without one of us. Hospital took this very seriously. So my 29 female, husband, 31 male, got a paternity test on our daughter, 5 female, and it came back negative. But I never cheated. Now he thinks our relationship is a lie and wants it over.
A little trick I learned when I...
Now look, I'd love to stay here and keep dunking on your weak asses, but someone else wants to come say hello before he's almost certainly fired. Director of the FBI, Mr. Kash Patel.
It's K-Dot, a.k.a. Cash with the K, a.k.a. the most effective FBI director this country's ever had, Kash Patel. Now, after the attempted assassination of President Trump, another one. We conducted an investigation that could not have been more thorough. We dotted every T and bulged every I. And for those of you saying I'm doing a bad job running the FBI, well, what if I told you this agency is only 6 weeks away from pinpointing the exact location of Osama bin Laden? You guys should not be reporting the lies and the gossip. You should be reporting on the historic nature of my appointment. I'm a trailblazer. I'm the first Indian person to suck at their job. Everyone says Indian people are smart, hardworking, incredibly intelligent. I prove without a shadow of a doubt that we can be just as incapable and incompetent as the whites. Okay, questions. Yeah, you, little shorty.
Are you nervous about reports that Trump is angry with you?
Hell no. President Trump loves me. Everybody loves me. Even the correspondence dinner shooter said, kill everyone but Mr. Patel. You get a shout out like that in the Psycho's manifesto, you must be doing something right.
Okay, is it true that you, the director of the FBI, was locked out of your own email account?
That's just more lies. I've always been able to log into my email except for a brief 36-hour period of time when I forgot I had changed my password to Cash Me Outside 69.
And can I ask about your drinking?
What about it?
I was actually talking to Mr. Patel.
Oh, awesome.
Let me be clear. This FBI director has never been drunk or hungover on the job. This FBI director has never filled a 40-ounce travel mug with ice-cold gin and a swirl of dry vermouth and 6 lemon peels and called it a cash-tini. This FBI director has never used taxpayer dollars to take a private jet to fly him and his girlfriend to 3 different Buffalo Wild Wings locations across the country to see if they could taste the difference. And this FBI director has definitely not stood on top of a couch at the VIP room of Tao Nightclub and Asian Bistro and shouted, "Who wants the nuclear codes? JK, I ain't got them."
Now look, I'd love to stay here and keep dunking on your weak asses, but someone else wants to come say hello before he's almost certainly fired. Director of the FBI, Mr. Kash Patel.
Daddy, everybody is missing you dressing up. Everybody says, where is Pyari? Where is she hiding? You want to teach everybody how to wear a sari? How to be a decent little girl? First, we make you wear a gagra. Oh my God, you already look so beautiful. You already look so pretty. Oh my God, you look so pretty. You look so pretty in orange. You look like an orange juice. Your bindi is missing. Your nose is missing. Let me put the bindi. See, I got this bindi long time before your mommy was born. This bindi was bought in 1970. This is very old. This I can just put it. Oh, Pyari, why you look so beautiful? Why you're so quiet and so patient and so sweet and so nice, just like orange juice, my favorite drink. La 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 la. Pyari, everybody is missing you dressing up. Everybody says, where is Pyari? Where is she hiding? You want to teach everybody how to wear a sari? How to be a decent little girl? First, we make you wear a gagra. Oh my God, you already look so beautiful. You already...
Am I the asshole for kicking everyone out after my sister lied and said my apartment was hers? No. That's not fucking strange at all. Who does that? I, 23 female, live alone in a decently nice apartment, and I'm proud of it. My sister Amelia, 20 female, lives at home. We've always been very close, so I gave her a key for convenience and emergencies. Since I moved in about 10 months ago, Amelia has been coming over a lot. At first it was nice, but now it's almost daily. I work long hours and I value my space and privacy, so this has been a little frustrating for a while. But I tried to understand because I know that she really wants to move out too. Over the past 2 to 3 months, Amelia's been obsessed with my apartment and its aesthetics. She constantly comments on how she would decorate differently or suggests that we should move furniture around. I usually brushed it off as jokes. It didn't really start to get weird until I started coming home to her in my apartment after letting herself in while I wasn't there. A few times I noticed that she rearranged little things. It bugged me, but I didn't outwardly confront her because it wasn't worth a fight with her. Fuck that. See, this is why I don't do spare keys. If I get locked the fuck out, I'm locked out. I'll call a locksmith. I live in an apartment complex. The maintenance man got keys. I'm not doing this shit. I can't have somebody walking into my shit feeling like it's okay for them to rearrange little things. Fuck that, because I'm going to immediately notice. About 2 weeks ago, Amelia and I were at a mutual friend's party, and I overheard her talking to someone about her new apartment. And when I walked up, her friend said something like, "It looks nice from the pictures," which made me think she was showing people my place and telling them that it was hers. A few days later, I came home early from work, and she was on my couch with a girl that I've never met. Amelia looked obviously shocked and then left quickly to go shopping. It happened again a few days later, but with 2 of our cousins instead. Amelia didn't even seem to care that I had came home this time. I texted her later and asked her to ask me before inviting anyone over to my apartment. All she said was, "Kay, listen, babe, you're absolutely not the asshole for kicking everyone out of your house, but I feel like you're being a bit of an asshole to yourself. You came home from work early and it was some fucking random chick sitting on your goddamn couch. No apologies, no explanation. She just leaves to go shopping. Then you come back again and you've got 2 cousins sitting on your fucking couch and nothing is said about it. Why didn't you take her fucking key back then? She's giving away where you live to random fucking people. That's not safe." After that, I assumed that all was well, and she was still over a lot, but she was acting oddly nice. I found this weird and was immediately suspicious, but from what I could tell, she wasn't doing anything strange. Boy, was I wrong. Last night, I came home after a 12-hour shift, and she was there again, but this time with 5 friends playing a drinking game in my living room. I was exhausted and livid. I told all of them to leave. Amelia tried to talk to me in the kitchen, but I wasn't having it. I told them again to leave, and one of her friends asked why I was there in my apartment. I lost it and I yelled, "Because I live here. Amelia lives with our parents. Now get the fuck out. You're not the asshole. You're not the asshole. You asked her to ask you, or at least let you know before she invited anybody to your house. She thought it was a fucking joke. She thought that you were playing. You're not wrong for coming home after a 12-hour fucking shift, seeing a house full of fucking people that you did not ask to be there, and then telling them to get the fuck out." They left pretty quickly, but my family is now saying that I embarrassed her in front of her friends, and Amelia is humiliated. Lying will do that. When you choose to make up fucking lies for no fucking reason, it is humiliating, because why? Why would you do that? Why are you going around telling people that my apartment is yours? My apartment, where I live, where I come and go as I please. Why are you creating this lie, this fantasy bubble, telling people that this place is yours? When you know good and goddamn well, one, it's not. Two, that I can come into this house at any moment and pop that fantasy bubble. Why are you telling people this? No fucking shit, she's humiliated. She should be. I honestly don't think I did anything wrong, but my family is saying my sister is devastated. Yeah, because she can't show her face around her friend group no more because everybody now knows she's a lying liar pants for no fucking reason. Sis woke up one day and was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna tell everybody around me that my sister's apartment is mine. And I'm gonna try to go over there as often as I can, but also drop hints on the fact that we should change the aesthetic or we should rearrange the apartment because I'm planning to tell people this place is mine. She should be fucking devastated. I love that for her. I'm not even sure what to do at this point. I do tend to overreact sometimes, but this is wild, and it's very out of character for my sister. So am I the asshole? No, baby, you're absolutely not the asshole for asking people that you did not invite to your house to fucking leave your house. That's common sense. But you are being an asshole to yourself. Your sister is violating and disrespecting your boundaries time and time and time again. The first two times, you don't even fucking do anything about it. You send her one text message asking her to ask you before she invites people over. She blows you off and just sends you K. Clearly, she don't give a fuck what it is that you're trying to say. You come home again to her having a whole little game night in your house. And then she tries to pull you to the side and talk to you as if you have not already stated that she needs to ask your permission before she asks anybody to the house. And you still didn't say anything about taking your fucking key back. Stand up, my love. Stop being a doormat. Your sister fucked around and found out. She tried to build a narrative around an environment that she could not control. Then started inviting people over to her new apartment, knowing good and damn well that her sister could walk in at any moment and has. Remember, before the game night, OP came home not once, but twice to random fucking people sitting on the goddamn couch. Yes, I know that two of them were her cousins, but they weren't invited. Therefore, fucking random. Sitting on her couch. Hear me out. If the sister didn't want to be embarrassed by being caught in a lie to her friends, maybe she shouldn't have lied to her fucking friends. OP stated at the very end of the story that this behavior is very much out of character for her sister. And I feel like, personally, that's because she's never had an opportunity to do anything like this before. She has never had an older sister that had her own apartment before now. She's seen an opportunity and she took it, and it backfired, and now she's embarrassed. You didn't say if you ever got your key back, so that's my little bit of advice. And honestly, I wouldn't even try to get the key back. I would try to just change the locks if it's possible. I know that you said you've got your own apartment, so I'm thinking you're renting and you don't own. You're 23. So if it's possible, change your locks. That way, if your sister does try to come back, she's going to be shocked and confused as to why the key to her apartment won't open the door. Am I the asshole for kicking everyone out?
I couldn't possibly.
Okay, today. Husband is appearing in gym girl TikTok videos. Alright, I hope I'm not about to come off as crazy. The situation is this. My, female 37, husband, male 28, and I go to a local gym a few times a week. He mainly lifts weights and is definitely one of the stronger guys there. There are several fit-fluencers, both male and female, that frequent our gym. And over the past few months, the girls have started to be really friendly with him. I don't mind that really. It's fine to ask for a spot or form check, but what I didn't realize, and he didn't either, at first, is that he was ending up in their Instagram and TikTok videos. I found out because a friend follows one of these girls and sent me a reel asking if I knew my husband was in these videos. When I asked him if he knew, he said he assumed that he was, but didn't realize they had so many followers. The thing that really weirded me out is how the comment section had a lot of comments about how this girl needs to get with her gym crush. She had even pinned some and had not mentioned anywhere that he is married. I'm not upset at him, but I just feel like her behavior is really odd. I don't want to be controlling, but I also don't feel comfortable with her being around him, especially if I'm not present. I guess I'm just asking for advice on how to bring this up with hubby without coming across as controlling. Oof. Ooh, we indeed. What's your first step? Well, I mean, if they go to the gym together, I would think that this Fitfluencer would know that they're together. So that would feel pretty disrespectful. Yeah. I would probably try to be like, maybe try avoiding this girl. I don't know. Like, I know it's hard if he's just in the background, but I don't really, because if you don't know the girl, like, I wouldn't want to go up to her and talk to her about it. Like, make it a thing. Yeah. I feel like it is interesting because it's like you're clearly talking about my husband on your socials, though, being like, I have a gym crush, guys. So much so to where your followers are being like, you need to get with your gym crush. You need to get with your gym crush. It's like, ooh, I would feel uncomfortable too. I'd be like, whoa, am I missing something? She should just make like a TikTok back, you know? Or Stitch, like, this is my husband. Yeah, a little Stitch, or like where her head is floating around in the background, you know? Oh my gosh. I love when people stitch stuff. Me too. I love when like someone sees a TikTok and like you get both sides. Like, yeah, exactly. I actually live for a dramatic stitch and like two sides to a story. Right? My first step, if this were me, I'd be going through the videos, and I guess like you would also know if your husband wears his ring at the gym, and I know a lot of people don't wear their rings because like you can lose fingers and just weird shit, so you're supposed to wear like, new fear unlocked. If you work out, you're supposed to wear like a jelly band, and so maybe that's a solution. Like, maybe if he's not wearing his ring at the gym and she's like, oh, he's not married, like maybe that's a girlfriend. Like, don't let a guy's girlfriend keep you from meeting your husband. I don't know, like maybe she's got that mentality. But I'd be like, okay, babe, we're getting you a jelly ring, and we're gonna make sure she knows you're married. Yeah. I feel like you should be able to talk to him, though, and just be like, can we nip this in the bud? Can you also stop being in her videos? Yeah, I would agree. You don't have to be in her videos. I would agree. Top comment. Like, that's the thing, is that, like, I would just say to my partner, like, hey, I don't think that you're doing anything wrong by just existing in the gym. But clearly this girl is making it really public that and it just makes me feel weird. So I actually think you're right. Like, maybe like putting a ring on if he's not wearing a ring, just to make it clear, because at least then the followers see like, wait, no, he's actually married. Like, yeah, and stop feeding into it, because husband is appearing in gym girl TikTok videos.
Get ready with me for Ed's funeral. We won't miss him at the nursing home. Not even his wife. He was shocked. He always hit on me, and his wife did not like it. He was a player. One time he told me to shut up, and I'm not gonna shut up. Nobody tells me to shut up. Now who shut up? Yeah, good. That is good. Cheers to his wife. She told us it's a celebration. Let me show you my outfit. This is my outfit for Ed's funeral. May he slay in peace. This is my third drink. Before I go, I'm going to say something positive. He had nice dentures. You would think they were real. 1 second. Are you going to Ed's funeral? You are? That's good. I'm almost done getting ready. Almost done getting ready. Okay. Get ready with me for Ed.
You haven't given your fridge this...
No, you said you're gonna go blow something, but before you told us what you're going to blow, you put yourself on mute. And you went off camera.
Oh, I must have been talking about a massive veining.
Today's the last.
Well, we start tonight with some breaking news. Just a few hours ago, Spirit Airlines permanently shut down mid-flight. The airline stranded thousands of passengers at airports with no employees manning any of the check-in desks. Spirit said they were proud they were still maintaining their normal level of service.
Cole Thomas Allen, the alleged Correspondents' Dinner shooter, took this selfie in his hotel room shortly before his assassination attempt, which he captioned, "Felt cute, might delete president." This week, King Charles visited the U.S. and met Zohran Mamdani, And I'm surprised he didn't take Mamdani back to England with him, because he is an Indian treasure.
Okay. King Charles visited the U.S. to mark the 250th anniversary of American independence from Britain and to seek the release of a British hostage being held by an American terrorist. King Charles also presented President Trump with the original bell from a British submarine and said, "Should you ever need to get a hold of us, just give us a ring." Or Trump could just call the guy saved in his phone as Andrew Island.
Legal experts are saying that this week's Supreme Court ruling has taken a wrecking ball to the Voting Rights Act of 1965. But if you ask black people, it felt more like a fire hose. Too real. President Trump met with the Artemis II astronauts in the Oval Office and told them, "I like space," which is actually a direct quote from Melania's wedding vows.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, seen here right after the bartender cut him off, testified before Congress where he revealed that the current estimate for the war in Iran is $25 billion a gallon. Also, how has the war already cost $25 billion? What are we bombing them with? White House ballrooms?
A federal appeals court has restricted abortion access by blocking the mailing of a popular abortion drug. But just remember, any drug can be an abortion drug if you do it enough.
Don't one guy clap. The U.S. State Department is introducing a special edition passport that features an image of Donald Trump. So you'll always carry a reminder of why you fled the country. Also, I love that the picture of Trump is apparently burning a hole in the Declaration of Independence.
A homeless man in Florida was arrested after trespassing on a yacht and saying that he was holding it for his friend, President Trump, as well as making other unbelievable claims like, "I was mayor of New York City." That was my impression of Kate doing it. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said she thinks it's possible America has already had a gay president. And here's a guess, maybe it's the one obsessed with ballrooms and the Village People.
President Trump is also claiming that a BBC documentary altered his January 6th speech by using AI to change his words. And when you watch it back, it is kind of egregious.
And we fight. We fight like hell.
And we fight for horny MILFs in your area.
A new report claims that the next person to leave the Trump administration will be FBI Director Kash Patel. And honestly, Patel seems like he already has one eye out the door.
The movie Michael earned $97 million in its opening weekend, which was the most a music biopic has ever grossed. But it didn't even crack the top 10 grossest weekends involving Michael Jackson. Well, we start tonight with some breaking news. Just a few hours ago, Spirit Airlines.
Go away so we can talk about how good you were. I don't want to. Go away.
I only want to lose.
Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Sawyer, I am in dire need of advice.
Okay.
I, 25-year-old female, and my fiance, 25-year-old female, have been together for 5 years. Let's call me M and refer to her as D. D has recently told me that she has resentment towards me, and I'm not sure how to navigate this. Some background. D and I worked together, and D got hurt at work and ended up suing the company we worked for, which caused her to be out of work for 6 months medically, leaving me to pay all the bills. This put lots of pressure on me. I handled the situation surprisingly well at first. After D got cleared medically to work, I obviously assumed she would get back to working right away. This did not happen. I found myself door dashing after 12-hour shifts to make ends meet, while she sat around and watched all the bills slip from my control. I had to practically beg her to get up and find a job, to which she would respond she had no motivation. Unfortunately, the bill slipped completely away from me and we faced homelessness, which caused us to move cities and sleep on the floor in my family's house. I got a job quickly in the new city and found us a place to stay with money I saved. She now has a job and we are living comfortably. She has now come to me to say she resents me for pushing her to work so hard and burdening her with the financial stress when she was hurt. However, she was cleared for more than 8 months before she worked or even DoorDash to help me out.
Wow.
My response to her was something along the lines of, you need to deal with that yourself. I feel as if I did everything I could to pull us out of the whole financial thing, and I did not have to even process my feelings, let alone hers. So I guess I'm asking, am I the asshole for telling her to navigate her resentment without my help? Any advice would help. Thank you, love the pod. Thank you for being a therapist, but not my therapist. LOL. Always enjoy Mrs. Sawyer's cackle. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Sawyer, I am in dire need of advice.
Okay.
I, 25-year-old female, and my fiance, 25-year-old female, have been together for 5 years. Let's call me M.
Can I have a word with you, please? This is normally my chill time, but yeah, what's up? So I was looking over last month's sales, and you're bringing in a ton of clients. Great job. However, the numbers aren't matching up to the amount of clients that you're bringing in. What do you mean? Okay, well, it looks like you've only actually charged about a third of your people, and then the rest of them you comped under our social media discount. Yeah, aren't we allowed to do that? No, you absolutely can, just not on 2/3 of clients, because that means that the salon, aka me, is now hemorrhaging money because you haven't been charging people for all of the product that you've been using, and it's been a lot. And if you were at least posting on social media, that would be able to be like, yeah, she's doing what she's comping these people for. But you've only posted twice in the last month. So can you tell me a little bit about what's going on? Oh, that makes sense. So yeah, I didn't know what to put it under because the only 100% service discount in the system was the social media one, but I've been doing service trades with clients of equal or greater value. What do you mean by that? Okay, so like Becky from earlier, she got a haircut, and my haircuts are typically $50, right? Well, she came in, and instead of paying, she got me 2 sourdough loaves that she made from her sourdough starter at home. And if you know anything about sourdough, like all of the kneading and the stretching and the rising, it's a whole thing. So not only did she bring me 2 sourdough loaves, but they're different flavors. One is chocolate chip, and one is jalapeno cheddar. So if anything, she got the short end of the deal because I got way more than $50 worth. Okay, as nice as that is, you can't do that here. I mean, that's a little ableist of you. Not everyone can afford monetary value, but they can give you something in return, and I'm all about giving back to my community. You're an employee, so I pay you from the money that you make. Oh no, thanks so much for looking out for me, but I fully anticipated it not showing up on my paycheck. I mean, if I'm not charging them, then there's no money for me to be paid. But I'm perfectly fine doing trades. Yeah, but you're using the salon's time, energy, product, all of these things that I'm paying for that you are essentially giving away for free. Oh, I don't think you're hearing me. I'm doing trades of equal or greater value, actually. Right. But you're essentially robbing me. How? Do you want one of my sourdough loaves? Can I have a word with you, please? This is normally my chill time, but yeah, what's up? So I was looking over...
God, nobody is more excited for this baby than my mom. Let me tell you, she's through the roof. And it's because I'm an only child, so she's obsessed with me. She calls it love. The doctors call it Munchausen by proxy. We told her we were going to have a baby, the first thing that she said is, listen, I do not want to be a Mima. And that's when I decided she's a Mima. I go, why don't you want to be a Mima? She said, Mima is the trashy grandma's name. I said, you have a bedazzled steering wheel. My dad goes, yeah, none of this Mima shit. I said, calm down, people. Mom, you don't want to be Mima. What do you want to be? And she said, I want to be known as grandmother. Grandmother. Okay. The only way this baby's calling her grandmother is if the baby's name is Lois. What, she thinks I'm just birthing the next cast of Bridgerton over here? Like my baby's gonna be watching TV at her house and he's gonna pop up like, grandmother, I shit my britches. Why I sound like vagina? my child is going to Meemaw's house, okay? And he's gonna cause a ruckus, and she's gonna have to give him a lesson on sharing, and she's gonna look at my kid, and she's gonna say, okay, show me how you share. And my kid will say, if I could turn back down. Oh, Meemaw, you stupid bitch. That was share with a CH. You're so heterosexual. I know, I can smell you. Listen, there's a lot going on with my parents too. Like my parents, they are turning 70, so I'm becoming a parent, but at the same time, I'm parenting parents, and there's a lot. Like first of all, they have decided that they are moving from Michigan to Seattle to be closer to their grandchild, which, yeah, that is a reaction. So my mom wanted me to fly to Michigan to help them clear out the basement so they could sell the house. I hadn't seen my mom in 4 months, and when I got there, she was down 47 pounds because she didn't tell me that she was hitting the Ozempic-Wempy. And she hates that I'm telling people that. She goes, Joe, stop lying to your fans. I'm not on Ozempic. I'm on Wegovy. But now she makes us all call her Skinny Fran. And Skinny Fran has unlocked her newest, biggest fear. Skinny Fran is horrified that at any minute she could be human trafficked. I said, bitch, you are still 70. I don't know what you think's gonna happen. You're just gonna be walking the dog one day and a U-Haul's gonna roll up on you, throw you in the back, take you to church, so you can make a lasagna for poor people. I don't know, but I'm gonna say unlikely. She's also very afraid now that she'll die at any minute, so she wanted me to help her write her will. And she said, Joe, first of all, I would like you to make sure that I'm cremated because I'm claustrophobic. I said, do you know how dead works? And then I would like you to keep my titanium knees and make Christmas ornaments. I said, you know what? I will. I will keep those knees, and I will put them up at Halloween. I'm gonna put them above the door, so when the tiny tots come, I can say, you wanna see something spooky, scary? Look up there, those are Meemaw's knees! My dad's the one to be worried about, okay? This is a man who grew up, is from Michigan, he's never left the Midwest, and now he's moving to Seattle, the most liberal city in the country. Okay, this is a man who quite literally thinks composting's gay, okay? He goes, Joe, I want to do a month. I want to do a month in Seattle to see if I can handle it. I go, that is a good idea. So he gets to Seattle. Let me tell you what, shit starts happening fast. First rule that I had to implement is if you don't have anything nice to say, save it for the car. My dad didn't like that, so he goes, Joe, I'm gonna reframe my thinking. Whenever I have an unkind thought, I'm gonna let it out, but as a positive. And I said, I love this, Dad. We are walking on the streets of downtown Seattle when my dad says, full-chested, I love that sparkly tank top that man has on. We're walking my dog on a beach in Seattle when this woman comes up to us and goes, I just want to let you know it's illegal to walk your dog on any of the beaches in Seattle. My dad looks at her and goes, thank you for letting us know. I'll call the dog catcher to come take you away. He won points back on that one. But then we all went as a family to Pike Place Market, which is the biggest farmer's market in the country that's gay for country. And I was sifting through some fruit, and I realized that my dad had escaped. He was nowhere to be seen. And then I looked far, far in the distance, and there's Ron Dombrowski in the wild, no chaperone, speaking to innocent civilians. And in our family, we call that Code Red! So I panic. I run to my dad to collect him, and he goes, let me say goodbye to my friends. He goes, hey, well, you know what? It was so nice to meet you and your wife. And this guy goes, oh, no, this isn't my wife. This is my girlfriend. That's my wife. We're polyamorous. My dad goes, holy shit, Joe. This guy can write with both hands. So I'm dealing with that. And also I'm realizing I'm becoming a parent. I can barely read, okay? Honest to God, there are so many times in my adult life where I will see a word and read it in my head, and then I'll say that word out loud for the first time, and it is not that word. Like, I recently got very into macrame, M-A-C-R-A-M-E, which, if you don't know what that is, it's just a woven piece of cloth that holds a plant in the corner of your house and tells all your friends you love marijuana. And I wanted some, okay? So I went to the plant shop to get it, and I asked the woman across the counter, I said, hello, I would like to buy some macrame. She then spoke to me in a tone that should only be used when writing an IEP reevaluation. This happens all the time. Segway, CQ, canoe, canoe. Listen, I used to work in a hospital too, and I was a transporter, so I would take patients from their room down to whatever test they had to go to. And I had a patient who had cancer that I had to take down, and I stopped a nurse somewhere in the hallway, and I said, hello, can you point me to oncology? I had no business working in that hospital. None. I only worked there because my mom was the director of HR, and that is the epitome of nepotism. God, nobody is more excited for this baby than my mom. Let me tell you.
You think that we should make abortion illegal even in circumstances of rape?
Yes.
Holy shit, why?
So the reason why I do is I believe that there is value within the womb. I understand that there's a lot of people that go against that, and they don't see that value, but I don't see how a terrible thing, because there's no arguing that rape is terrible, I don't see how making a terrible thing and then having a wonderful thing come from that is a negative thing, because there is potential within life in any womb.
Do you know who Max Yerby is?
No, I do not.
Okay, so Max Yerby is a 15-year-old with a rare progressing blood disorder, and he needs a stem cell transplant to prevent it from becoming a deadly cancer. Now, here's the thing. His blood type, or more specifically his stem cell type, is so incredibly rare that his father has started a campaign to try to find a human match. And through this campaign, they've tested over 40 million global donors. So many people that I'm sure that a good portion of the live stream viewers have at least heard of this service before. You could go to Max's website and request a blood test to see if you match his stem cell type. And out of the 40 plus million global donors that they've checked so far, there hasn't been a single one of them who've been a perfect match. Okay? But here's the question. Assuming that you were to send in a blood sample to Max's dad tomorrow, and it came back that you were the only perfect match alive, and only your stem cells, okay, could prevent Max Uribe from dying from cancer, okay, do you think that you should be legally obligated to give Max your stem cells, even if in giving Max your stem cells, you had to be connected to Max for 9 months straight? Being connected to Max for 9 months straight to save us life would induce very serious mental and physical pains, traumas, and stressors. And there's even around a 3 to 5% chance that being connected to Max at some point would kill you within the next 9 months.
No, I do not believe I would be obligated, and I do understand your argument 100%.
Yeah, so the argument is that you shouldn't have an obligation to give Max your stem cells, even if you were the only perfect match alive, even if not giving Max your stem cells would result in Max's death. So then why should raped women have an obligation to give their bodily resources to the fetus, even though their bodily resources are the only thing that would keep the fetus alive?
I think my values more are aligned with Christian-based values, so I just don't believe that. With me believing that there is moral, intrinsic value within anything.
Wait, is Max's life not valuable?
No, his life is valuable.
But you said that you shouldn't have an obligation to give him your stem cells, even if that kills him.
Well, am I the only person that has a match on the planet?
Yes.
Well, then at that point, I think with my personal moral values, I would feel that I have an obligation.
Okay, and honestly, I might as well. But we're not talking about our personal moral values. We're talking about what should be codified into law. Do you think that our government should force you to give Max your stem cells if in giving Max your stem cells, it would mean you are connected to Max via a cord for the next 9 months, and that this would induce very heavy mental and physical stressors, pain, and trauma, and could even potentially kill you, around a 3 to 5% chance?
When we're working off of that, then I see what you mean, and yeah, my answer would still be no.
So then why do you think that the government should be able to force pregnant women to do the same thing for a fetus? Okay? Because you can't say because a fetus's life is morally valuable, so is Max's. Okay? You can't say because a fetus needs that pregnant woman's bodily resources to live, so does Max. He needs your stem cells to live. You can't say that, well, getting the abortion would kill the fetus, therefore the woman has an obligation to maintain the pregnancy. Okay, well, not giving Max your stem cells would kill Max, yet you don't think you should have a legal obligation to save his life. So if you don't think that you should have a legal obligation to provide Max your stem cells in the hypothetical, then in the real world, rape victims that have been impregnated shouldn't have a legal obligation to keep that fetus alive.
Yeah, I mean, you're giving me an entirely different angle for me to look at this at, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, you're 100% correct. I agree with you.
Okay, so you no longer think that we should force victims of rape to maintain their pregnancy, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I think you've pretty much swayed my mind there, because that's also a topic that I've talked about with a lot of people here recently, and I've been trying to look at it from a different angle. I don't know why the analogy that you chose kind of made me look at it a better perspective, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a really clear analogy that like actually connects to the real world. It's like a story of something that's actually happening right now. So maybe that's why it works, because it's not a far off distant hypothetical. It's a real world dilemma that exists in the real world, as I said. Do you think that we should make abortion illegal even in circumstances of rape?
Yes.
Holy shit, why?
So the reason why I do is
Yeah, they released HD surveillance footage from the shooter at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and I have questions. Here it is, and we're going to focus on this area up here where you're going to see him walk into that doorway. So here we go. He walks in, nonchalant. You're going to see a canine officer come in, and the dog follows him into that room. And then you'll see him pull back the dog, and then it looks like they have a conversation. Looks like he's talking to him there. And he's finally going to turn away, and literally seconds later, he comes out armed with the shotgun. A couple things noteworthy. First, what's in his hands? I see nothing. I certainly don't see a long shotgun in his hands as he walks in there. It doesn't look like his jacket is big enough to hide it if it's in pieces. And then he had time to assemble it while this guy's literally staring through the doorway? Because I didn't see anything in his hands. This guy's just kind of chilling there. And then it's the moment he turns, he comes out with it fully assembled. And look at the size of this thing. Was that on him? Or had he stashed that there prior? And if so, how was that missed? How did no one find a firearm stashed in a room right next to security? Moving on, he will exit. He'll come sprinting through here, and you're going to see this guy fire multiple shots. There you go. There was at least 3 there. As everybody just kind of scatters and seems confused. And it's worth noting, this guy walked into a room right there, seemed to be being watched almost the whole time he was in that room, and yet somehow got his hands on a shotgun. Then sprinted through here, and all of these guys missed him. None of them were paying attention except for this one officer, who then proceeds to miss him at close range. At one point, this guy's basically standing in front of him. I understand he's running, but he missed him with every shot. And also, never see his firearm go off. I don't see him shooting at him. He points toward him. But, I mean, a shotgun, even if there isn't a muzzle flash, it puts out a lot of energy when it's fired, and I don't see a shot go off. And last but certainly not least, that was not the first footage we got, remember? We initially got this super low-res garbage footage of that incident happening. Then we got a higher res version in between this version we have now that was clearly AI slop. We knew it was AI slop because, like, that paper disappears into his chest, that paper seeming to be the metal detector, but also nothing in his hands. He's not armed
in the original one we got. He's armed in the new one. And you can see this is clearly the same footage by matching what the people are doing. Also in that version, this agent is looking in a different direction and wearing a hat. See what I mean? He has a baseball cap on and he's looking the wrong way. My question is, why did we get this version? We were always going to get this in some way, shape, or form. They're always going to release this. Why did they make an AI version? And then if they're willing to make one AI version, how do we know they didn't make more than one AI version? Which then begs the question, which is real? Is him with nothing in his hands real? Or is him with the shotgun in his hands real? Is no metal detector real? Or is metal detector real? My takeaway from this is this administration is way too comfortable utilizing AI. And this just raises more questions about how inept everything had to be. If this is a legitimate threat and this guy was on his own and this was not a setup, for this to have all played out this way, based on what we can see with our own eyeballs.
Yeah, they released HD surveillance footage.
I'm about to go live.
Oh! Am I the asshole for filing a police report on a good friend who was caught on video stealing my boyfriend's camera at a dinner? She has refused to help me either replace it in full or contribute to the cost of replacing it. More context. We were out to dinner one night at an
What would happen if a vampire cheated on their mate, and can they even do that? I actually love this question, and I also love how it came up. Now, my take on this tends to ruffle some feathers, but it is based in what we know and my own observation. So first of all, the mate bond between vampires tends to get misconstrued a lot. Twilight vampires do not have predetermined mates. Mates are really something that Twilight vampires declare for themselves. It's not like imprinting where you see somebody and you just know. Stephanie has even said herself that vampires can fall in love with anybody. The only thing that makes it a special bond is that once they do, it's supposed to be unchanging, and they're supposed to be very intense, and they can become very vengeful about their mate. So if a Twilight vampire has a mate, like all the Cullens consider themselves to be mates with their partners, right? That really is just kind of the person they've decided that they're with. So does that mean they can't develop feelings for one person? I would say no, definitely not. It doesn't mean
tell you, like, the 3D is so good that it feels like you can reach out and touch her.
I acknowledge the need for allies because of the visibility we lend. That was just reinforced for me tonight. Sarah McBride gave me a note from a 10-year-old transgender girl named Ella. She named herself that after my movie Ella Enchanted. And in this note, Ella thanked me for my courage as an ally. Ella, sweetie, I want to make something absolutely clear to you. It takes zero courage to love you. It does, however, take a lot of courage to get up and talk in front of a lot of people. So I put your note right next to my heart to give me extra strength. It's right here. To this beloved community, to Ella, it's an honor to be your ally. Now let's tear this world apart and build a better one. Thank you. I acknowledge the need for allies because of the visibility we lend. That was just reinforced for me tonight. Sarah McBride gave me a note from a 10-year-old transgender girl named Ella. She named herself that after...
Birth Sister 27 Female tracked me down and wants to be a part of my 26 Female's life. I don't want her at my wedding or in my life at all. Here's the issue. I was adopted as a baby. I have no clue what I have a sister, Elizabeth, who's my twin. We aren't related by blood, but we are the same age. We are both adopted, so we have that to honor. I met the love of my life, Jake, 30.
Muchi Pichi, go on. Sibo, Roshigama. Lipid, Tusha Fino. Tav, Panda, Sturge, Walla Bepso. Yanabi. Shomba follow Subao, Clefaya, Arbane, Arno. Tor, Wolf Reserve. Oh, Jocelyn the Bronze. Ooh, the Borfiana sauce. Oh, yes.
I know your face from my dream.
My word is my honor.
More violence, less violence.
What may I offer you?
So.
The answer is out there. Alice.
I am going to peg Bogey.
You just brought everyone home. We should finish this now. Spend a few years on this. You meet the most fascinating people. Protect got you. Rare treasure.
A lot to learn, Groot, but I'm going to teach you how to survive and win out here. The goal is to capture and hold key points, because doing so provides us with extra power we can use against our enemies. Let's begin by going over the areas we'll need to capture and hold. Towers are worth their weight in gold. Control one of these locations, and you'll control the local roads. A tower also makes for a great base of operations.
Look at Princess.
She loves you.
Keeps are massive structures that require a significant, sustained effort to capture. You will need siege weapons and a large group of adventurers to breach a keep's walls and defeat its lord. Stone Mist Castle dominates the middle of these battlegrounds and has defenses like no other place in the Mists. You'll need plenty of siege weapons and allies if you plan on assaulting this imposing fortress. number of potential allies in the mists that we can rally to our cause. They'll need convincing to join us, and their assistance could bring us victory. Find them and learn how you can recruit them. I've got deals you won't believe.
Until next time.